Hi everyone, today I just want to talk about the reason why I quit alcohol, and I've spoken about it in another video, but I've been getting a few comments asking why I ended up quitting alcohol the first time. And the first time I actually quit was 2017 to 2022. I was kind of just sick of the booze, to be honest, just a loads of different kind of small things just getting worse and worse, and I decided to kind of take the plunge and stop drinking then. But after 2022, I ended up getting back on it again, thinking I could moderate. And then of July this year, I ended up quitting again. So I'm about 4 or 5 months now into my journey, and I can't see myself ever getting back on it, to be honest. But going back to 2017, I would have been 33 at the time, and I remember I was starting a new job it would have been a couple of weeks' time, and I'd actually just moved back to Edinburgh, funnily enough, and I think I had, let's say, 3 weeks off, and I got back on the Friday, I remember, and as you would always do is you end up going out. I went out on the Friday, and the local pub I used to go to, they did, I think it was a double house vodka and mixer for £3, which is about, I think at the time, about $4, maybe €3.30, something like that. And I ended up going there on the Friday night. I remember it was just meant to go out for a few, because loads of my mates were away on holiday, and I ended up just staying out, full night out, and then woke up the Saturday, and I remember feeling really rough as well. And the thing is, on the Saturday, if I remember correctly, I was actually not going to go out again. And what had happened was loads of my mates were actually coming back from holiday. I think they were probably landing at about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I was going to go out again. So just the usual. I mean, that would happen not every weekend. Because I was just a kind of quintessential British binge drinker. I would never drink during the week. If my mates are, if there was a big event on during the week, which wasn't really that often, to be honest, always keep it to the weekends, but I'd most likely just take the day off the next day, not even a half day, because I would just take a holiday. But the weekends would always be the same. Go out on the Friday or Saturday, and Friday, maybe Saturday. Didn't really go too wild on a Sunday if I was going out. Maybe if there was a big game on or something like that, or a friend was staying, I'd maybe go out for a few, but nothing too major. But that would still kind of make me feel knackered like crap all the way to Tuesday, Wednesday, and then normally kid myself on that I'm going to have a dry weekend, and then it's like one message on a Friday and you crumble, pub ? Or mine tonight ? And that's you completely done. But I ended up going out that Saturday night, got hammered again, drunk through the hangover, and which was probably more kind of still feeling drunk in the morning, because you're drinking just cheap vodka, although they'd been on the beers in the beginning and just kind of escalated to that. But I woke up on the Sunday morning, and I do remember feeling like absolute death. And it was, I still remember in my head, I don't think there was really any anxiety there that much, because I didn't have work on the Monday. I wasn't starting a job for another 2, 3 weeks, so I thought, that's fine, I can kind of get through this one. But then on the Sunday, my mate was closing his local pub, and I knew that was coming, but he said, oh, today's actually the day I hand over the keys, it's like 6 o'clock or something. So I thought, okay, I'll go there, and he said there's only going to be about 4 or 5 of us, and it's just a kind of send off, because that's the place we always drunk. So I ended up going there, and that turned into a major session again, just the usual, feeling like absolute death. And then you have a few drinks, few hair of the dog, and you start thinking, you know what, I actually feel all right tonight. And ended up going out, full-blown session again, just drinking all sorts, because there was just loads of booze there, wine, beer, spirits, etc. And then I woke up on the Monday morning, and I don't think I've ever had such a bad hangover. I remember waking up about 5, 6 in the morning. It was like I had no sugar in my body. I tried to go down to the shop downstairs, but that was all closed. And then I ended up, I remember just trying to get as much food down me, as much sugar down me, and ended up basically then just managing to go back to bed and then waking up as usual, kind of every half an hour, every hour, and just dying the whole day pretty much. I remember having heartburn, I remember having indigestion, I remember having a sore head, I remember just having anxiety as well, worrying about nothing, and I think something just flipped in my brain that day. It was just, I think, a culmination of, always feeling kind of lethargic, starting stuff around the house and never getting finished, starting courses, never finishing them, always just blowing my wages. Doesn't matter kind of if I'd got a bonus or a normal wage, or you got your annual bonus, and it always just seemed to go. I mean, the more money you got in, the more nights out you had, or the wilder the nights out you had. And I just remember it was the first time in my life that there was just a complete switch, a total 180. And it was different from the times before, because we've all been there when we've said, right, that's it, definitely not drinking. This time's different, honestly, and everyone's going, okay, yeah, whatever. No, this time's definitely different. But this time I knew in my head it was different. And I ended up staying off the booze for 5 years, and it was kind of probably the best 5 years of my life, I think. Even though COVID was there, but it did help get through COVID. I was just kind of smashing everything, work, life, saving, everything, up early, fit as anything, and it was incredible. But like I say, that hangover, it did last about 7 days, and I'm not even joking, 7 days. I had heartburn, indigestion. I couldn't really eat the first few days, so I had to kind of it was like I'd had a stomach bug, and you're kind of just slowly trying to force yourself to eat because your stomach's not had anything in it. And no matter how much water I drank, I was still dehydrated. Sleeping pattern was a mess. And yeah, it was just one of those things. And it's funny because a lot of us just kind of wait for this rock bottom moment. And I don't think that was really a rock bottom. Maybe it was, but maybe it was a kind of 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 compared to some of the rock bottom stories I read online. And you don't need to wait for that. I think it's just kind of ridiculous that we all wait till it reaches kind of this sort of moment before making that plunge, making the decision to quit. But that was kind of the reason I ended up being in it, and like I say, it was the best decision ever. And unfortunately, like I say, got back on it, but now I'm back on it, back off the booze, and have been since July, which is kind of 4 or 5 months. So all good from that, all good from here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to kind of briefly talk about my hangover from hell, and just tell folk you don't need to wait for a rock bottom moment to kind of make that big decision to quit. And hopefully many people listening to this have quit, and if you're not and you're thinking about it, just go for it. I've got loads of good videos about tips to stop drinking, and you'll get through it. But please like and subscribe if you like this video. I've got a playlist as well in my channel that you can listen to more stuff like this. So anyway, have a good one, and speak next time.